Firsthand I see Virginia, New Jersey, and Connecticut plans. You got it first.
Okay, so Virginia, it was like the House or whatever. So what they say is that, oh wait, okay.
Anybody in the group can say something when y'all have control.
So New Jersey plan, every state gets treated the same. Virginia state, big state plan, more people, more wealth.
Treated the
So
same
then-
how?
Senate, so everyone gets 2 people.
Okay, New Jersey plan is basically saying that all states are going to have the same representation in the new government. What did the Virginia plan say?
So that's like based off of population. So then more population equals more representation.
And then what did that become?
The House of Representatives.
Yeah, you said this before, and I'll go ahead and repeat it. The New Jersey plan dealt with equality, and it became the U.S. Senate. The Virginia plan dealt with population, and it became the House of Representatives. What was the Connecticut Compromise? And y'all still have it. 5, 4.
Allows for both, so equality in the Senate, but different due to like the size of the population for the House of Representatives.
Yeah, it was. Basically what you got on here is this was their way. In order to get the big states what they wanted and the small states what they wanted, the Connecticut Compromise became the way that the government is. Pick me a category. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, or articles. Anybody in your group? Gotta go.
Article 2.
Articles for 2. Let's see. Articles for 2. Ladies' night. First hand I see, actually. Yeah, y'all have this.
So basically, ladies' night was so we all know what ladies' night is when.
Well, no, we don't. That's why we're here.
When women are allowed to go into like a club or a bar either for free or get drinks for free.
Okay.
And basically,
No cover charge, 1, 2, or free or reduced price drinks. Go ahead.
And then a lawyer was like, okay, I'm not kind of down with this. This is discrimination because men don't really get like men's night. So that this is like discrimination. The court basically decided that that's not discrimination.
It did.
Because there are men's night, but they probably won't want to go to those specific bars because those are the bars that are not like,
Those bars, she says. Yeah, believe it or not on this. And there were 2 states. Do you remember what state actually made that ruling? 5.
Massachusetts, right?
-2. It was not Massachusetts. What state was the state? Who has it next, Rose? Okay, I guess it's...
he
Okay, it's Anthony. Go ahead. New York? It was New York. New York was actually the first state that said that it would be legal. What was the second state, though, that said, no, this was discrimination? Y'all have it, or if you don't know, you don't have to say anything. 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead, Jason.
Arkansas?
-2. No, it wasn't Arkansas. And you're in Leslie's group. Anybody? Last chance. 4, 3. Minnesota. Minnesota was the state that actually did strike it down. Make sure that you're clear on the articles. Make sure that you can be as specific as you can. And maybe now this is actually going to load. But let's see. You gave me the last correct answer. You're in second place. Pick me a category. Number 2 for 3. Okay, this is Constitution chapter. And for Constitution chapter, references to slavery in the Constitution.
References to slavery?
References to slavery in the Constitution.
Oh, so like the 1808 clause?
What was the 1808 clause?
It basically banned all slave importing. You could no longer import slaves into the U.S.
Banned from where exactly?
From Europe.
Internationally. So it banned what exactly?
Oh, it banned the picking up of slaves.
Yeah, what was it called? Anybody in the group? 5.
International slave trade.
4. It was the international slave trade. Basically, it said that you'd have about 20 years to wean yourself off of the institution of slavery. And in the 1808 clause, they said you could no longer trade in international slave trade. But why did they just not remove slaves, free them immediately? Why did they try this little tricky thing with international slave trade?
Because the South was so dependent on the slave trade.
It's true.
The entire industry basically of the South.
And how would the 1808 clause end that?
Basically by making every single slave a freed man or woman, and then they would have to.
Wait, did it make them free?
No, it
No,
didn't.
it
It didn't.
5.
So it didn't make them free. What it allowed them would just stop. It stopped the importing of slaves. So you could no longer bring slaves into the U.S. The slave.
Yeah, but what would happen to the existing slaves? How
so
would this all?
eventually, the thing was like eventually they'll all die. And
Eventually, they'll all die off. That's exactly what they said. So we don't have to take anybody's property, but when they die off, it'll be a natural thing. Tell me more. Other compromises, other provisions.
They also had the 3/5.
What was the 3/5 clause?
So 3/5 was basically saying that hey, a slave would only count as 3/5 of a citizen.
For what purposes?
So when it came to property.
Sorry.
Votes.
Purpose of the House of Representatives.
Yes.
Purposes of representing in the House of Representatives, 1, 2, 3. So the southern states wanted them to count as a full person. The northern states did not want them to count at all. They came up with the 3/5 clause for representation purposes. And there was a third provision in there, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know it, I'll take the first hand I see. 5.
The fugitive slave clause.
It was the fugitive slave clause. Go ahead.
So, for the fugitive slaves clause,
5.
oh yeah,
4.
I remember. So it's basically saying that if a slave goes to a free place, like basically in the north, that if someone went down there with the right papers and documentation to prove that that was their property, they could take them back.
Yeah, fugitive slave clause would actually, 1, 2, 3, require this, and this actually fell under the full faith and credit clause of Article 4 from the Constitution. Pick me a category.
Articles for 1.
Articles for 1. Articles for 1. That was a real easy one. Zero tolerance policy. You have it first. You'll have it next.
Zero tolerance policy is for.
And let's get other people in the group answering too. Because if you get bonus points, and come on, join the group.
Alright.
Okay, but make sure you're with them. Go ahead. Y'all got this. Zero tolerance policy.
So the zero tolerance policy is for, there was, one example we had was a boy was suspended for drawing.
Remember what his name was? 5, 4, 3.
Kyle Walker?
It was
Age
Kyle
7?
Walker. Yeah, it was. It was Kyle
Big
Walker. Kyle Walker, do you remember what state it was? 5.
New Jersey.
It was New Jersey. Come on, give me some details on this. Kyle Walker was a 7-year-old kid in New Jersey, and he did what?
He drew a picture of him, or of shooting, or with a firearm, another kid with the name of that kid labeled over it, and he gave it to that child.
Yeah, he did. He drew stick figures where somebody was getting shot, and he had his name, like me, over one figure, and then he had the person's name over the other one. And then what did he do with this picture?
He gave it to that other kid.
Yeah, he did. He gave it to that other kid, and when that other kid's mom found it, what'd she do?
She reported to the school. And
Felt like this was
was a threat to him.
Felt like this was some kind of a threat.
Yeah.
How did zero tolerance play into this? 5.
He got 1 day suspension.
Okay, what is zero tolerance though? You're right, but what is zero tolerance?
Zero tolerance is the fact that New Jersey has zero tolerance policy for guns.
Guns.
So,
So what can
sure.
you not do with a gun?
You can't draw them, talk about them, everything. So everything
Can't
banding.
draw them, can't talk about them. Seems like you're leaving out something pretty obvious.
Oh, and you can't bring them.
Yeah, you can't bring them, and it could be a real gun or a fake gun in this instance. And you're right, he did get 1 day suspension and required
Therapy.
counseling. He did. When they talked to him, what was it that he said that he did draw?
A water gun.
Said he drew a water gun. That's right. And see, the trick on this is with zero tolerance, there's no discretion in this. Once they say there's zero tolerance, you're gonna be punished. Pick me a category. You got a big lead now.
Number 3 or 3.
Number 3 for 3. This is actually gonna be federalism. And federalism, let's see here. What do we want to do with federalism? Let's go with, in the beginning. What was the relationship between the federal government and the states in the beginning of the country? First hand I see. Looks like Keon's got it. You'll have it next. Your group has got it.
It was pretty weak.
Okay, it was pretty weak. Thank you. Keep going.
The states were like more operating on like their own businesses.
Okay.
And
Specifically, they had their own currency, they had their own armies, they were allowed to levy, the states were allowed to levy taxes.
So the states were the ones ultimately that were really more in charge.
Yeah, and the federal government had to ask the states if, like, let's say New York was being invaded. New York would then have to go to the federal government, ask the other states for their army, and the other states can say no. So it really didn't give the federal government any power.
Federal government really didn't have any power at all. You got it. Pick me another category.
Let's do
And anybody in the group can answer now, because when y'all get it.
number chapter 2 for 4.
Chapter 2 for 4. I have a Pictionary. Who wants to come up and draw? Somebody in your group. Who? Y'all figure it out.
You got it.
Okay, this is going to be a little bit cramped, but yeah, we got you. This is what I need you to draw right here. Don't say it out loud. Got it? Got it? 1 minute, starting on the 12. Come on around, Rose, and I'll show you. Yeah, y'all can guess. Anybody else can't, though. Y'all can guess what you need. Remember, no words, no numbers. Got it?
It's faded. But yes.
Oh my God. So you got it?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Remember, this is, you're going to be, oh God. You're going to be drawing something. He's drawing something from the chapter that's going to turn into a term, probably. 30 seconds. Y'all can guess as much as you want. Oh my.
That's like a...
Can we say it?
No, their group has control right now for another 15 seconds. Something from chapter 2, Constitution chapter. For 4, oh my.
That's a swing.
Okay.
That's stop. It's on 12.
5. You can guess as much as you want now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Any guess at all? Go ahead, I see your hand.
Abortion clinic?
-4.
Separation of powers.
No, it's too late. You don't have
No.
Go ahead.
Shays Rebellion.
What?
Shays Rebellion. -4. That's Danny's group. -4. Anybody with anything else? Go ahead.
Checks and balances.
What did he draw, though?
Separation of
It's going to turn into separation of powers and checks and balances. But what did he draw? 5, 4, 3,
separate branches
2,
of
1.
Like what?
Okay, first, okay. This was supposed to be a sandbox.
Oh, wait, pause. Do they get points off of that?
Okay,
Let's
Em
go.
said
They
that
get
the
points
points
off.
have got to be taken away.
But the other team like.
That was Leslie's group. First hand I see, separation of powers and checks and balances.
That looked like one.
First hand I see, separation of powers. Go ahead, Matthew.
There's 3 legislative bodies in the United States and the government.
There's 3 legislative bodies.
No, there's 3 governmental bodies.
3 governmental bodies.
Yes, yes.
What are
The
they?
executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch.
Okay, Constitution actually is going to set up, and this is Car Crash's group, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 separate branches is probably the word that you're
Yes.
looking for. What are the articles for these branches, by the way? 5, 4,
Articles
3.
1, 2,
Anybody in the group?
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, which one is which?
Article 1 is the legislative body.
Article 1 is the legislative. Go ahead.
Article 2 is the executive.
Article 2 is the executive. Go ahead.
3 is the judicial.
3 is the judicial. Now tell me how this relates to separation of powers in the sandbox when I put this up on the board. Anybody in your group, you've got it.
All right.
5. Giancarlo has it next. 4. Go ahead, Car
So
Crash.
one branch of government won't have too much power over the others.
Okay, that's true. So what does separation of
So
powers do?
Each branch has their own sandbox of powers. They can't reach over and grab other powers from other branches. They
And
have
that would be an example of,
Checks and balances.
checks and balances.
well, not exactly, but
Like-
you're right. Each
yeah,
branch is
like
going to
the
be given
president.
certain powers within their specific sandboxes or their specific article of the Constitution. Okay, that's the first piece. Can you give me an example of a power that is given in these articles?
Sure. The legislative body has the power to declare war.
Legislative body does actually have power to declare war. Go ahead. Anything else? 4,
The
3.
president has the power to veto a bill passed by the legislative body.
President does have a power to veto bills. I'll give you that. Anything else?
Yeah, the
2.
judicial branch has the power to strike down a bill if they think is unconstitutional.
Judicial branch. What's that called?
That's
Anybody in the group? 4, 3, It is judicial review. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it is. Okay, so if separation of powers basically says that each branch is going to have certain powers that they are guaranteed that none of the other branches can touch. Things like vetoes or declaring war or judicial review. And you started to get into this, I don't want to get bogged down in it, but if another branch tries to use these powers, that's considered a violation of separation.